funny enough, they didn't block appropriately, so we just won the game. What's going on, guys? If you want to support our content and pick up this month's amazing Patreon rewards, you can do so at patreon.com/itresolves. If you're interested in custom playmats and sleeves, visit YourPlaymat.com and use code ItResolves10YP for 10% off your entire purchase. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another standard gameplay video. Hope you guys are doing exceptionally well today. I hope that the week is starting off strong for you, but we've got an amazing deck to talk about today. Before we do that, though, I just want to remind you, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're not already, it is a great way to not only support us and hopefully stay up on top of all of our content, but it's also a great way for you to enter a giveaway for some free cards. That's right, we're giving away a draft booster box of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty on February 23rd. So I encourage you guys, check out the details over on our website or on the video that we have posted on our channel landing page. But lots of exciting things coming up in the near future, so please do check that out. But let's talk about today's deck. This is a stupid one. This is 100% just me playing cards that I love, which is weird because it's mostly a white deck and I normally hate white, but the reality is I love this combination. I've been playing a lot of it. Stensia Uprising as well as Wedding Announcement. Just throwing out some tokens, man, every single turn feels really, really good. So I thought, you know what, let's go crazy with that. And not only that, but let's capitalize on these anthem effects that Wedding Festivity gives with things like Paladin Class, which can obviously anthem affect the entire board. Let's do the Intrepid Adversary, which can anthem multiple times, and basically just throw out as many little 1/1s and get as many little 1/1s as we want every single turn, and hopefully bolster them up and do some major damage. So there is a bit of a life gain sub-theme to this. We've got the Lunarch Veteran and the Impassioned Orator. These are really nice because they just add value to every single token. Obviously, we're hopefully going to get some every turn. The idea is if we have either of these or both of these out, we're going to gain a couple points of life in that process, which can really help kind of bolster our life total up against any kind of burn decks, anything trying to life drain us, anything like that. So it gives us a little bit of options. We do want to throw some counters around, so we do have the Luminarch Aspirant here. This is going to throw some of those counters wherever we see fit. It's a really nice little 2-drop. It's nothing too crazy, but it really does help out quite a bit. We do have Adeline, of course. It's just a good way of spitting out extra tokens. Any kind of 1/1 here is going to be really powerful because ideally we're going to have multiple anthem effects on top of that. So a 1/1 might be a 3/3 or a 4/4 even. So we might get some really powerful stuff out of this. And then Blade Historian, attacking creatures you control have double strike. This is going to make sure that all of them are getting in for a maximum amount of damage. Now we do have Frostbite as well as Fateful Absence. These are just some small ways that we can instantly deal with whatever kind of creatures or planeswalkers we might see on the field. Frostbite we do of course have the Snowlands for, so we've got quite a number, 13 actually. Sometimes we don't hit it, sometimes we do. It is a little bit hit or miss, but in general it's not too bad to get to. And then of course Den of the Bugbear is one of the better lands in this deck because we create a 1/1 goblin that's tapped and attacking every time we do this, which just means again it gets that anthem effect and hopefully can get in for even more damage. So we're really stoked about this. This is going to be really fun. I cannot wait to see how this deck does. I have practiced with it a good bit. And I absolutely love it. So without further ado, guys, let's jump straight into the games and see how this absolutely janky list does on the ladder. All right, guys, here we are for game number 1. And this isn't a super aggressive hand, but I think it's definitely keepable. Hopefully we get a land or two off the top here and we can get to that Blade Historian or the Anthem effect on the Paladin Class. Paladin Class really does double duty here. Not only is it an Anthem, but it slows down a lot of the removal on the opponent's side of the field, which is kind of nice. Or it just forces them to maybe to play on their turn a bit more, all of which is good for us. So I will happily take that. Looks like the opponent's going to mulligan at least once here, so we may be able to capitalize on that with this Frostbite. Kind of excited to see what we get here. I'm going to go ahead for the Paladin Class first, though. Just a nice card to get down as early as possible. I really like this deck, guys. It's absolutely silly, I know, but it's really fun. I've been really enjoying the Uprising a lot. It's just a really fun card with a lot of long-term value. And so in the right build, I think it's a ridiculously good card. I don't know that this is that correct build, but it is certainly an option, so I like that. I'm going to go ahead and play out one of these adversaries here. It's not something that we're going to be able to activate, obviously, but it is a threat that the opponent has to respect, and it is something that can gain us some life along the way, which of course is very important for us. Now, I fully expect they're going to have some removal here, and that's fine, but we get to leave up Frostbite, which is kind of nice. So here, we're actually just going to be able to deal with this very cleanly, in fact. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to leave up the Fateful Absence. I'm not going to use that quite yet. And we'll just attack in here for 3, gaining 3 life in the process. Pretty easy third turn, excuse me. And hopefully, if we can get a land this upcoming turn, we might be in really good shape. Looks like this is going to be a Clerics deck, though, so Righteous Valkyrie, something along those lines, could be coming down, which is absolutely terrifying. But looks like that's not the case. Let's go ahead and get that out of there. They can't actually activate the clue token yet, which is quite helpful. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and Anthem out here. It's going to get an extra point of damage in, but also gain us an extra point of life, which is good. And hopefully we're keeping them off of that 27 life total, which is something that we really don't want to have to deal with. Now, they didn't play Righteous Valkyrie last turn, which is a bit surprising. Okay, they must have drawn it, I suppose. Kind of odd, but it's fine. All right, so what we can do is actually throw this down, activate it, and then all of a sudden this is much more powerful than their Righteous Valkyrie and a big threat to their life total. And now, if we just get a land off of the Blade Historian, we could technically win next turn. I mean, it very much depends on what they play, of course, and it is very unlikely to happen, but there's the Voice of the Blessed. That's going to gain some life and get a token, of course. Which is very, very good, but I'm curious to see what else they might have this turn. Okay, Fateful Absence, that's very solid. Thankfully, we do have some backup cards here, so it's not really something that we've overcommitted on. We do lose the threat, so to speak, but that's okay. We can make do. Yeah, let's go ahead and throw out the Wedding Announcement here. That's going to spit out a token, which is just automatically a 3/3. Again, that is so convenient for us. Because again, this is just going to happen every turn. Arguably, we pulled the trigger a little too quickly on the Fateful Absence, but worth noting that Cleric of Life's Blood gains them life and gets counters, so it is going to be a card that we have to deal with at some point. Now, these double Righteous Valkyries are terrifying, and certainly something we're going to struggle against, so we're going to have to do the best we can. They are going to get in for a decent attack here. But we will see what we can do. All right, they're going to deal 6 to us here, but they are out of cards in hand. That is worth noting. Now, they do have the clue token, so obviously they can draw a card, but they would only have 1 mana left open at that point, so it's not like it's a ton. Sure. Deal 6. I assume they just cracked the clue token. Like, there's no harm in doing it now. You might as well. Maybe they don't, maybe they wait, but I think arguably this is about as good a time as you could imagine, so might as well go for it. Cool. All right, land is actually very, very helpful. Okay, so we can drop Blade Historian, which would give this double strike, which is very good. And I think that's the play here. Let's go ahead and attack in. This is going to get them down by 6, which is, again, a very healthy amount, considering that's roughly how much they're dealing to us. So the pressure is certainly on them at this point. Next turn, we might be able to draw a card off of this Wedding Announcement. Theoretically, that would be very helpful. But we're doing a good job of keeping them away from that 27 life total. With these Righteous Valkyries, that is just not something you want to get to. Intrepid Adversary is going to most likely come down this upcoming turn, so that's going to give another Anthem effect to the board, and theoretically should do quite a bit of damage. They do have to respect the fact that we might have that. We're going to gain some life here, of course, perfectly fine. This is not yet indestructible, which is very, very crucial. They are going to attack in with it, though. It does have vigilance, so of course that makes sense. But we should be able to take this down. Okay, so we get to gain a life here, which is quite nice. This is actually a free life gain, essentially, because we're still going to get to activate the adversary the same number of times. And yeah, we're just going to attack in with everything. All of our stuff has double strike thanks to that Blade Historian. They can block it, but with the Voice of the Blessed is really the only way they're going to get to kill it. and so feel relatively good about this position. All right, so we just win. Funny enough, they didn't block appropriately, so we just won the game. Heck yes, we're amazing. All right, game 1 down, guys. We got a win with this absolutely janky deck. Let's see if we can do it again. All right, guys, here we are for game number 2. And this is kind of an interesting hand. So we're obviously top loaded with a bunch of Luminarch Aspirants, but I think that might actually be okay. We'll see how this goes. I think I am going to keep this, though. We'll lead off of the den here, which isn't exactly... it's not perfect, but that's not a bad start, and we'll see how we do. One thing to note here, and this is why Frostbite might not be the best option, is that we really don't have an overabundance of snowlands. We do have the majority of our lands as snowlands, so it's kind of easy to get there, but it sometimes could take a while. It depends what we draw, right? So it's just one of those things to think about. That might be a card that we would want to swap out for something potentially a little more synergistic, but let's see how this goes. Opponent kind of taking a while to decide if they're going to keep. I think we definitely are. We are, like I said, top loaded with a bunch of those 2-drops, but we should be okay here. Also, guys, if my voice still sounds a little funny, it's the same day as I've recorded both of the weekend videos, technically. So, yeah, my voice is still a little shot from being sick, unfortunately, but that's okay. Hopefully it's not too bad for you guys. I do appreciate all the support though lately, guys. We've been throwing out content every single day for the last nearly 3 weeks, I think. Almost sometimes 2 times a day, which is pretty awesome. So again, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody for supporting the channel, watching the videos. It really does mean a lot. All of you newcomers who are here either for the giveaway or just to support the channel, thank you first and foremost, but also welcome. It's really happy to have you guys here. It's really great to see some new people in there and commenting as well. A lot of you guys have been commenting on some videos, which shows that you are watching, which is great. So thank you guys so much. I'm assuming our opponent is either not here or having some trouble because they did time out there. So we may stick this out. We may skip through. We'll see, because I don't particularly want to waste your guys' time. If we do win or if they do jump in, we'll jump back in here. All right, they jump back in. Cool, that was really easy. Let's go ahead and do this. We'll see what the opponent wants to do. Don't really love that they play it that way. That's kind of annoying. All right. So weirdly, I think the play is just a wait, because we have this Fateful Absence. This is certainly one of the better 2-drops in the game. It's not something I'm particularly interested in going up against, but I will go ahead and kill it here. The reason I'm killing that and not the Old Growth Troll is mostly because this comes back and this draws cards. I'm not interested in having them draw a bunch of cards. I get that the irony is we gave them a clue token, but that's fine. Cool. So they are going to get an attack in here, but what we can do this upcoming turn is play 2 Luminarch Aspirants if we'd like and double up on these counters. So I actually feel okay-ish about our position. It's not necessarily great, but it's not the end of the world. All right, let's do this. Drop a Luminarch Aspirant, drop another Luminarch Aspirant, and definitely just throwing both counters here on Adeline, I believe. Let's do that, let's do that. And this actually does allow us to attack in here if we'd like. This does have Vigilance, so this is basically a free attack. They can block here and just kill this 1/1, but that doesn't really matter to me. We get a hit for 6 in. That's a pretty strong hit. Now, what this does crucially is keep out of the way of like a Blizzard Brawl. They can fight this, but it's not going to kill it. So if they wanted to go that route, they'd have to double up and kill it, which is just helpful because it's going to save us a little bit of headache. Cool. So they can get a 1/1 counter on something and then Blizzard Brawl. So it depends on how we'd like to block here, I suppose. I don't think I want to risk the block if that's the case, because they do have that 1 mana left available. Just don't think that's worth the risk personally. But we'll see. If they attack with one of these, nah, I guess we still can't. All right, I guess we won. That's ridiculous. That was very, very quick. Okay, let's go into a game 3. All right, guys, here it is, game 3, and a bit of a slower start, but I think we can try it. We've got the Orator that can come down turn 2 and start gaining us some life theoretically, as well as the Adeline, which is obviously just a fantastic play. Let's go ahead and drop this, oops, not that, and throw that Impassioned Orator out. Hopefully we can gain a little bit of life in this process. Little worried about what they could have, but we'll figure it out. That's certainly a troublesome card, no doubt about that. We'll go ahead and play the Adeline though. And you know, I'm gonna offer the trade. I really doubt they take it, but if they want to, that's fine by me. Looks like they're not willing to. This is a card they want to keep around, so truth be told, I really doubt they would ever want to trade those. But this is great, so they're obviously gonna attack in here, that's fine. But we should be able to deal with this. So get a scry, no problem. Cool. Cave of the Frost Dragon, huh? I tell you what, let's drop this. I'm gonna go the adversary route. It's auto pay. It's gonna bolster up our board here a good bit. And we get to attack in with both of these, which is super helpful. Obviously they can just block here, but they still take quite a bit of damage, and they're already down to 8, while we're sitting at a very healthy 23. Now, I fully expect that they've got some removal here. That is a good piece of removal, so that's going to take that out. But we're still sitting okay, because again, they have to be very conscious of life total here. We obviously don't block this, we just kind of let it do its thing. It has first strike, so blocking it really doesn't do very much. They're going to throw a counter, it looks like here, twice, which is very scary, very powerful. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Whoops. And we'll throw this down as well. Do we attack, knowing that they could very easily block here? I think we do. This gains us a couple points of life. If they want to make the trade, that's perfectly fine by me. I doubt they will, yeah. That's fine. And we get another token here, which just gains us even more life. And ideally, this will flip eventually, so it's really not a terrible thing. Okay, so they're just doing this to neuter the Adeline a little bit. Oh, and no, excuse me, it does kill it. Did I read that wrong? I very well might have. Oh, as long as you've completed a dungeon, sure. Okay, so they're gonna start firing away at this stuff, which is a bit annoying because it is gonna slow us down a good bit, but I think it's okay. Gonna take a point of damage here. Frostbite's interesting, so we can just kill this. Alternatively, do we have the Snowlands? We do have the Snowlands, so we can play this a little smart here. Let's pay with that. All right, let's attack in. They're gonna block, that's perfect. Because what we can then do is kill stuff. So we're gonna kill this. Perfect. That was just a nice little combination. We actually get to draw a card off of that as well, and it is a Stensia Uprising. Now we don't have the second red source, which is a bit frustrating, but I think we're in a better position now for sure, so I feel okay about it. Next turn this is gonna flip, which is gonna obviously anthem out even more, which is great. Now that is interesting. Okay. Excuse me. So we're gonna deal 2, scry 2. Yep, both to the top. Now that's not good. That is not good at all, and unfortunately that's not very good for us either. So we can activate this, which is about the only thing. It is a 4/5 though, so it's not really that good. Let's see. Part of me wants to all attack solely so we draw a card and then obviously get to push through a little bit more. Because we only have to deal a few points of damage here. It's not like we have to deal a ton. I'm gonna do it. This may be the wrong choice, I have no idea, but we're gonna try it. Okay, very nice. So we get to draw a card here. Unfortunately, it's just a white source, which isn't that good, but we keep the anthem effect. So this is, again, just trying to force their hand a little bit. If they don't have a follow-up creature, they're not in great shape here. I mean, you know, this is a little 1/1, which can block something, but that's about all. Okay. Yeah, well, that's pretty good. I mean, it's a blocker, so that's fine. Okay, that slows us down a little bit. Okay, cool. Very good from the opponent for sure, but again, they do have to be quite careful. What could we draw here? Trying to think. Intrepid Adversary wouldn't be a bad draw. Just a red land wouldn't be a bad draw, to be honest. We can get up to 13 permanents relatively quickly. Wow, okay, unfortunately, that's not gonna do it. So here we are. Unfortunately, we just don't have the second red source here. I was really hoping for an undefeated run here, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Man, that's so good. Okay. Yep. So we're gonna get rid of that. That makes sense. And yeah, I think we're pretty much out of luck here. We do have some life total buffer, which is very helpful. And again, this is where Frostbite might not be the right choice. If we just had Shock as an example, like we could just shock them for the win. But I think it's very unlikely we get to win here. So I'm just gonna pass. We're gonna take all the damage, which is annoying, but it's fine. They get to venture, they get to scry twice, thanks to this little guy. Oh man. All right, well, yeah. Unfortunately, we are getting flooded with the wrong things here. So I think next turn we definitely just lose, if not already. I mean, it is what it is. I'm really upset though, because I thought we were doing really well, but I'm gonna go ahead and actually concede here. I think they just have it. All right. Let's talk about this. All right, so 2 out of 3 games. Not too bad, actually, for what really is a janky deck. This is an absolutely silly deck. It's just based on tokens and anthem effects, and so I thought it would be a really fun one to build, and it certainly worked better than anticipated. I was actually very happy with that, and I think given the correct draw, we could have very easily dug ourselves out of that position in that third game, but we just didn't get there. So it is what it is, but regardless, this has been a very, very fun deck. I hope everybody is having a fantastic day. I hope you guys have a fantastic start to your week, and hopefully we'll be back tomorrow with some more gameplay videos. I've been trying to stay on top of it. It's been really, really fun getting gameplay out every single day, so I wanna hold that. But regardless, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to leave a like and a comment down below, and make sure you subscribe if you are not already, if nothing else, to enter that giveaway for some free cards. But until the next one, guys, I'll see you then. Thank you so much for watching.